Hi, Gary here, and welcome to Book Mob. Today I'm going to be talking about my book that I read in a couple of days last week. This is Eleanor Catton's Birnam Wood. She won the Booker Prize, I don't know, back in who knows when, 2000 and something. Anyway, her book for Luminaries was a wonderful book. Great read. And anyway, so last week, I think it was last Saturday, I went to the Big W Library and looking for a book to read. There's no bookshops actually in my immediate area. So if I'm not going downtown or further afield, getting brand new books or new releases can be quite a challenge. Anyway, so let's go to the videotape. All right, what's new? Usual suspects. James Patterson. Okay, Cormac McCartney. We read that. Ooh, yeah, Birnam Wood. I might get that. Eleanor Catton. She wrote The Luminaries, which won the Booker Prize. Andy McNab down there has written about 8,000 books. Bible, read that. Stephen King Fairy Tale, read that. Seven Moons of Mali Amida, read that, which was a great book. Actually, that one last year's Booker Prize. Read. See, it's called A Man Called Otto. I guess that's for the English or the American film because it's titled A Man Called Ove, I think. Usually they'll have, they've had June in for a long time, but they've never had any of the follow-up novels. Anyone heard of this? Empire of the Vampire? So, yeah, I've heard of Bunny. What's the Bunny? Outside of Small Holly. Which go? Across the freeway. Okay, it's a satire. Okay, well, it looks like Birnam Wood, which is, as you reading maniacs should know, is from Macbeth. Birnam Wood. And then we'll look at the $5 bargain books. Usually looking for a Dean Koontz book here because they're kind of the only ones I really buy. Think about all the amount of effort and time it gone into write and read and publish all these books. Let's see. I wish I read Patricia Cornwall because she's got hundreds of books as well. And nothing else. New release table. Ooh, okay. James Patterson again. James Patterson, Lee Child. These people are like James Patterson. So it's the James Patterson Company now. We've got to know that. Welcome back. That's where we bring you here at Book Mob. Book buying action. Anyway, I read Birnam Wood pretty much in one day overnight read. And to be perfectly honest, I found it pedantic. Partly engaging. Nowhere near as beautiful as The Luminaries, which I absolutely loved. That's a great book. Here we go with, anything to do with environmentalism, evil billionaires, confused radicals, mixed up romances. Oh, by the way, if you have a irritated idea of Birnam Wood, you go, well, I know that from somewhere. Maybe it's from your school days when you studied William Shakespeare's Macbeth. Birnam Wood is the wood where one of the three witches, the witches said Macbeth will fall from grace if three things happen, and one of them, I think, was how Birnam Wood, outside his castle, would walk upon him. And we all know how that ended. Anyway, So I read it pretty quickly. It is an easy read. It's a story that set in New Zealand and in a fictional town, but I think Eleanor Catton, she doesn't live in New Zealand now, but I think she's an original Kiwi, and a group of rogue gardeners who plant vegetables in, illegally, in, roadside pastures that haven't been used in years, old lands fenced off. And I mean, the idea is that they grow this fresh produce and hand it out to, to locals or to organisations that can pass on the free food. It's a bit, you go, well, okay, what are they actually doing? Because they commit their entire lives to this action. The group ebbs and flows with numbers, obviously, but the 2 or 3 main sort of characters who run this mob are, bought in 100%. Now, in comes a nasty, evil, billionaire type who's got nothing on his mind but making money. Pretty one-dimensional characters, but I can see, there is some interest in it. There is some engagement from a unique kind of story, but it just seems to go nowhere. It's just mainly as plot around the inside and outside goings-on of a clandestine group. And they get involved with the billionaire who obviously is not, he doesn't tell the truth. He's really doing something other. And he's using the Birnam Wood group as a cover for his illicit, illegal mining operation. I don't know much about mining. I don't even know if what he's doing is an actual mining sort of setup. I mean, maybe it's a mashup of fracking and open pit mining. I don't know. Anyway, he somehow disguises an entire huge mining sort of mission. And one of the ex-members of Birnam Wood, he spends his time, lecturing others on how to live and how evil everyone else is. But really, when it comes down to it, he's just like you and I. He's just like the billionaire, except he doesn't make as much money. And when he discovers that he has a scoop, because he's like a wannabe journalist, he's smart. I mean, he's traveled the world and all that. But at the end of the day, this character then goes on, to do some undercover journalistic work, and it's like it's like a thriller. I guess that's not a spy thriller, but it's it doesn't really go anywhere. You can read the ending. You can understand where this is going to go. And even though the crescendo at the end is quite creative and surprise in a big way, actually what happens, that's probably the best thing about the book is its ending. And I guess maybe in a way, Eleanor Catton is saying, really we're just human beings. Everyone's got their own ideas. Everyone's moving an agenda. Everyone has plots and plans in order to create the world in the image of their own minds, and that no one is right, no one is wrong. It's just this idea that we pretend in many ways to be something we're not. I mean, corruption, for argument's sake, is always a good, we can always blame people for being corrupt, but how many of, and I'm talking about financial corruption at this point, not moral corruption, but how many of us have ever really been in a position where we can be corrupted? So we don't even know how we would act. If we worked at a local council and someone said, hey, I'll give you 10 grand if you push this through, and, so that I can dig up that old soccer field and turn it into a strip joint. So, people in this novel are all fighting against everyone else. It doesn't really gel. And unfortunately, the even though it's so well written. I mean, it's well written. I mean, obviously you wouldn't get this far in the publishing world without having the intellectual and the intelligence to basically write. And it's, write a story with the rise and fall of incidents where, okay, now, the three characters we've got to make this one has got to have this trouble, this one's got to have this challenge. So at the end of the day, writing is something that professional writers can do. Then they come up with a story, and I just get the feeling that everything is written from a point of view of capturing an audience purely for the entertainment, purely for the idea that, here's a code or here's a method in which to write a book. And because, human beings are very into patterns and codes and methods, when we read it, we follow through the novel, we follow through the book, because it sits easily in our unconscious and conscious mind while we read it. Now, at the end of this book, I put it down, and it'll go away. Like, there's no way I would ever deem to pick up this book again. So as far as I know is characters who pursue utopian singularities. I mean, there's nothing wrong with pursuing it. It's just pursuing it at the expense of others without informing them of what you're going to be doing to them once your utopian pleasure land has landed. Very easy to read, well written and structured, and does provide a comfortable reading experience, but the story itself is fairly plain. But you're getting on a plane, getting on a train, or got a loose afternoon, pick it up, and prove me wrong. Anyway, that's it for Book Mob for this episode. Just to remind you, I'll be speaking to Polly Mordaunt about her Remark book series. In fact, I'll be talking to Polly tonight, and then hopefully I'll get that talk out by the end of the week. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I'll cop you later. Bye-bye.